Awesome. All right, everyone. Today we have the one and only Ray Ellen. Ray began his real estate career in Northwest Arkansas and as a marketing professional in 2006, marketing over 50 million in property that year with one of the largest real estate firms in the area. He is constantly ranked among the top real estate agents in sales volumes and client satisfaction. He's the owner of Pixel Properties. He's a BAM contributor, and he's spoken at Tom Ferry events. Let's hear it for Ray.
Oh my goodness,
Woo!
what an intro. Wow.
I'm famous for my intros. So Ray,
Did AI
get
do
us
that, or
started
was
here.
that regular?
No, that was the first time.
Nice job.
So Ray, get us started here. How did you get started in real estate and started on your company, all this stuff? Give us a nice little intro yourself.
Okay, so short version, my grandfather had a bunch of land down in South Arkansas. When we discovered America 150 years ago, that's where my family landed, and that's just kind of where they've always been from. So I would walk the timberland and he would tell me about it and what you could do if you owned your own land. And so I've always been fascinated with real estate. Those questions like who wanted to be a realtor when they grew up, and like no one raises their hand. I'm like, I kind of did. I didn't really know what a real estate agent was, but I always wanted to be involved in the buying and selling of land and that kind of stuff. So I always had an interest in it. And I marketed a whole bunch of properties right when I got out of college for other agents. And so I was kind of on the forefront of like 360 tours. There were two 360 tour companies back in the day that I brought to Arkansas. This is right before the crash. And I helped all these other people market a whole bunch of money. And then I did the math one day and I was like, ooh, if I would have marketed and sold that myself, my life would be a lot different. So I got my license. And in 2007, January of 2007, it was activated. And we had an amazing 4 or 5 months. And then, of course, the world real estate market crashed around us and I did some other stuff. I wound up doing like commercial and business brokerage in there. During that time, you just did whatever you could to survive. And it was kind of funny because I didn't watch The Big Short for years because I didn't want to relive it. But when I finally did watch The Big Short, I felt much better about myself because I was like, oh, everyone was like that. It wasn't me all. So I came back to residential real estate in 2013. Just really focused on processes and systems. Why did this client have a fantastic experience? Why was this one a fantastic failure? And I looked up and I was one of the top agents here. So I thought, well, I should start telling people what I can do. And so I started doing that, put a real focus on marketing. And that's kind of what got what got us picked up nationally. So I was doing some innovative marketing tactics, which was back then video. And that was enough to help us to start to speak at conferences. And we always, since then, just try to stay on the forefront of everything that's happening. So
you were ahead of the curve then. Like back then, there probably wasn't a ton of marketing companies for realtors. Like now, there's a million of them, right? But like
right.
back then, social media wasn't a huge thing. What
No.
gave you that idea to do that? Sorry, I just dropped something.
Gary Vaynerchuk. I was sitting in bed one night in 2006, watching him taste wine and tell me what the wine tastes like. And I thought somebody should do that for real estate. And so that's what I started kind of the same thing. I was like, well, I think it's better to either have a real estate marketing company or agents need to be marketing companies that are also real estate agents. And so that's what gave me the idea, was watching him taste wine. If only I could have had the same trajectory he had.
You're just as famous to me as he is. Okay, I watch more of your stuff.
Oh, good.
That's awesome. So, I'm glad you brought up The Big Short because the biggest argument I have with everyone is when the real estate market's going to crash, they go, "Did you watch The Big Short?" I'm like, "Well, it's a completely different
Yeah,
market, but
way different." As someone that lived through it, it's a very different time. I mean, we had, before the crash, all my friends could get a loan, whether they had money or not. After the crash, none of my friends could get a loan, whether they had money or not. It's a very different situation that we're in now. I mean, back then they were doing no doc stated income loans, which means you could just say, hey, this is what I make. I don't have any documents to tell you. And the bank would kind of look you over and go, oh, okay. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they were handing out mortgages to whoever would walk in, right? So you were marketing properties and you got into real estate, you were selling real estate, and now you're still selling real estate and you own Pixel Properties. Can you tell us a little bit about Pixel?
Yeah, so I started a team because I was getting more leads than I could handle. I started adding to my team. This was probably like the third or fourth team that I've had because I've done it wrong so many times. I did it too early to start, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could tell you the swan song of teams. But in 2017, I had a really effective team. It was good. We were growing. We were one of the top groups in the area. That's the year I was also asked to speak at TF. And then my broker came to me and said, we no longer want to continue with you in 2018. Come to find out later from his assistant that was fired that it was the day that I spoke on stage that he was like, we're getting rid of him. So that was
Why?
fun.
Wait,
I don't know.
elaborate.
They said we're afraid that you're going to start your own real estate company. We don't want you to do that while you're here. That's what they said. And I said, well, who told you that? Because originally when I signed on, it was to be like a future partner and help them expand their brand. And so yeah, his assistant though told me later that he didn't like it that I was on stage and he wasn't. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. So I've
Okay, a
always kind of
smart
had a sore
company would
spot.
Yeah, a smart company would see what you're doing and want to kind of help you with it and team up with you. They got scared
Yeah.
and got rid of you.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Now they said it was because I was going to start my own real estate company, which I wasn't. You know, maybe one day down the road, I always kind of had in the back of my mind, like maybe one day I could do that, but it was always too much. I had too much going on. I think I had like 20 deals pending at the time. I was busy, had a good team, had a good split. I was still giving them way more money than I should, but it was pretty good. So then that was at the end of 2017. And I was like, all right, what do you want to do? Like a 30-day, hey, goodbye. Thanks for helping me, you know. And they're like, no. We want you to be out by next Tuesday. This was a Friday before the new year.
Oh my
So
God.
they wanted me out by January 2nd and everything transferred. Now everything shuts down, but I had that weekend to find someone. I found a broker. I hired a broker and started my own company. And a month later, we launched Pixel Properties. So the name came about because I was looking for something that had a connotation of technology, but also was semi symbolic. And so if you look at like one little pixel, you really can't tell anything that one little pixel is. But when you look at a whole bunch of pixels together, you have a beautiful cinematic movie. And so the idea was that as a team, we're a much bigger picture than we are if we're just one individual. And so that's where the name came from. And we launched, and I had my own brokerage for 4 years and dealt with the headache of owning and operating a brokerage. And it was a lot. And so Tim Macy is a friend of mine and said, hey, we're opening Real in Arkansas. You want to join? I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So they took all my overhead and stuff, and I restarted my team last year. We did 60 deals last year. This year to date, we're at about 110 transactions. So it was just 4 of us, and we added 3 more recently in the last couple of months.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So a big component why we had you on here is you guys are pretty far along with AI and what you're using for AI to help you grow your business. 110 transactions, that's pretty huge. So congratulations on that. Can you
Thank you.
tell us a bit about some of the AI you guys are using, and we'll go from there?
Yeah, I mean, I told someone it'd be easier if I made a list of the ways I'm not using it, but I use it every day in some way, some shape, form, or fashion. I'm using it for a lot more than listing descriptions. So the number one thing I'm using is ChatGPT, and I'm I don't think I'm so weird. Well, I'm not only using it for business, I'm also using it personally. So one of the things, one of my
I use it when my girlfriend texts me something really long. I'll just
Oh, yeah.
break it down to ChatGPT. I have a video about it. It's great.
That's exactly it. Read this and then tell me how I should respond, and then go ahead and respond. Yeah, for sure. No, I've
Yeah, tell us everything you're doing. Don't hesitate.
one of the ways that I have loved using it is with meal prep and meal planning. So that was a huge task that took hours, and I want to eat healthier, and I was eating healthier, you know, towards the beginning of the year than I am now. So I know what like diet and, well, that's so wild to watch Kristen leave, and she like floats through the, sorry. She was like floating through the bushes. That was amazing. Anyway,
for the longest time, I definitely thought that was real, and I would just always like ask her to do things, and then she would walk through it. And I'm like, what the? Yeah,
I actually did think it was real. When I saw that, it kind of tripped me
We
out
have an
a little
episode
bit.
on Halloween. You got to walk through there on Halloween like a ghost.
Yes, for sure. Anyway, it was a huge task that we had to do every single week, and I was just tired of it. I was tired of planning it. I was tired of getting it together. And so I've been using it to come up with a meal plan for me. And then it's been really good and it works. So the basic prompt I get is, and you may want to ask it, like if you have a specific diet that you want or some kind of dietary thing that you have to follow, you may want to ask, like, are you familiar with this? Well, how familiar are you with it? And it'll tell you, ChatGPT will tell you, like, yes, I am familiar and this is what it is. So then you could say, okay, create a 7-day meal plan for me, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks included, following that guideline. And you could tell a little bit about yourself, like, you know, your weight and, you know, the personal stuff too. So it can calculate that. And it'll give you the meal plan. It'll give you a breakdown, day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way down. Then you could say, this is great. Put it in a table for me. And it puts it in a nice table. So you have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like a calendar and it's got breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the way down. Then you can say, and this is the trippy part that'll change your life. Give me a grocery list for that meal plan. And this is the part that takes hours. And it will give you a grocery list broken up by the types, like here's the meats, here's the veggies, so I have the entire list of everything I'm supposed to buy. And then if you don't know how to make some of the things on the list, you could say, give me the recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner of every day. And then all you have to do is to print that out if you want to print it out. We print it out. Are you doing it right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insanely easy.
Some people are probably wondering what this has to do with real estate, but I'm like, you know, this stuff could save you so much time in your daily life to focus more on your business, like stuff like that, right? Like we spend so much time doing these medial tasks that could be focused more on making money, right?
It saves a gigantic amount of time. And then I can either spend time with that or family or, you know, playing golf or whatever I want to do, creating content. But if I could take off 2 to 3 hours a week and I can put something in place that can make it healthy for me to function better. Dan, he says, can you ask for healthier versions of gummy bears? Yes. And they will tell you what they are actually. And there are healthier versions of those. So you can, and if you're like, I don't really care about health food, I just don't want to make meals. You can actually tell it not to be healthy. You know, just say, hey, come up with the funnest meal plan for me. One of the things I did this last time that was really interesting is I gave it categories. So I said, make a 7-day meal plan and pick from these categories: Mexican food, French cuisine. I said Oriental the other day and Kitty Day was like, no, Asian, but my Asian friend told me to call it Oriental. So I don't know which one. Oriental food. What was the other? I told it Italian.
That's offensive. You're banned.
I don't know which one. I don't know which one to say. I'm just saying, use the edit the non-offensive one in there. And then what was the
Ask ChatGPT?
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. So I asked it anyway. I told it to do that, and then so it gave me the meal plan, but then it like had, you know, tacos, and it had fried rice, and it had like, so it had those things in there that I normally, like, we normally eat a bunch of kind of a variety like that. The first meal plan I had was like super clean and a little boring, but you can tell it to add the variety that you're looking for and it will. So now we have a really good tasting meal plan and it saves me hours and hours of time. That's one way you use it. You can have it break down to the macro. Yeah, you can ask, give me the macros for this meal and add that to the table. And so you can actually see in the table how many macros there are and what you're eating. So it's very good. You could have it adjust the serving size. It's phenomenal. So that has been a huge time saver and one of the number one ways I'm using ChatGPT in business, kind of. It's more in life.
So you're using it in every aspect of your life. So you're like, ChatGPT is changing the way you do everything right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But people underestimate how much time and energy they spend on doing all these things, and they're so tired to work on their business. This actually is a huge bonus to help you be more productive in your business world, right?
Yeah, that's what it's about. So in my mind, I see commission compression coming from every angle, right? You have Zillow just raised their flex fee to 40% instead of 35. You have more referral companies increasing their fee that they cost to give you a referral. The cost to compete with other agents and these referral companies in order to get a lead in is going up. The cost of like, now that I have a listing, I have to market this property and prove that I have this wonderful marketing plan, which is really just me spending a whole bunch of money. So that's commission compression. Now that buyers are going to see 0%, they're going to be like, oh, I don't have to pay my agent. No, you do have to pay your agent. And so there's going to be a lot of agents experiencing commission compression from that angle. So commission compression is coming to us from every which way. As an operator, we can either save money or we can save time. If you could use ChatGPT to save time, then instead of feeling like, oh, I have to do all this stuff and I'm only getting paid X, now it's like, well, ChatGPT is taking care of all this stuff, so I only have to focus on the important things. So now you're making more money per hour, even though the commission compression is happening. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, what ways can I put ChatGPT in place to help me to save money or time? So food was first. I'm a big guy. I eat a lot.
Food's a big one. We need that. So
yeah. Another one that I use it is HR, hiring. So I'm a terrible hirer. I hire anyone. Any one of you could interview with me and I would hire you, because I see so much potential in everyone.
Would you complain to HR about me if I made a bad joke, like on ChatGPT?
I would just put it in ChatGPT and say, should I complain to HR? Yeah, is this offensive?
Carry on. Dan's not amused with my joke. I can see it in his face. Okay, carry on.
So one of the big things, and I would say this too, like, you know, I focus a lot of my time on ChatGPT. It's the most functional AI that I've found that I enjoy. I don't put overemphasis or overvalue on prompts. A lot of people are like, oh, prompting is where it's at. You have to ask this specific way. What I have found is just to talk to it like it's a person, and it works the best. And that's going to reshape how you think. Like if you talk to it like Google, you're going to be disappointed. If you put too much in and you try to like really box it into what you're looking for, you might as well just go find that yourself. So I found, but just by talking to it like a person, then I get way more out of it. For instance, I have this prompt. Can I
put in
share
there
my screen?
2 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, another big thing to add on to that is like when you're talking to it, if it doesn't get it right the first time, don't re-prompt. Keep talking to it till it gets like what you want. Like rewrite that. Like, can you just explain that a little further? That's what I do with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's huge. Can I share my screen? I'm not sure if I can.
Yeah, you can. I set you up as co-host.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so this is a little AI talk that I did, but this prompt is long, but I want you to see it. Let me make it bigger. There you go. Okay, so this sounds like I'm just talking to a person. I need marketing. I need help in marketing. I'm a real estate agent, does 40 transactions a year. My average sale price is $1 million for $40 million a year. Located in Anaheim, California. That's not really where I'm located. It's just an example. I have an assistant who helps with contract to close paperwork, and we're ready to grow. I care deeply about my clients, love to take great care of them, provide an incredible experience. It's important to my brand, blah, blah, blah. When people become our clients, they often become our friends. So this is me giving it a tone, right? I do not understand social media and want to hire someone who's great at marketing, such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and email marketing, as well as traditional marketing channels like direct mail, open houses, TV, radio, and print. This person would be in charge of planning client events, marketing around them. I'm open to accept industry standards as best practices for this position. It's important to me that the addition of these marketing channels have the same personal look and feel. Okay, so there's a lot of information in there that I could have probably done without, but by putting it in there, I'm getting the right tone for the ChatGPT. Now, this is the big request. I need you to provide 4 outputs. I need a bullet point list of tasks this person would do on a daily basis. I need a job description for this person that covers those tasks. Because how many times have we heard, well, that's not my job. I need an estimate of what that person would get paid. And I need a job post that would attract the person that would excel at this job. So that's the prompt. Really, you could put whatever you want up here at the top. And at the bottom, you say, this is what I need. So basically, you just describe the job and who you are. And this is very much like not a prompt. This is just you talking to ChatGPT. And then you hit go. And then bam, it gave me a list of tasks: social media management, email marketing, traditional marketing, client events, marketing analysis, collaboration, reporting. It gave me the job description, marketing manager for real estate agency, manage and execute social media strategies across platforms like. So it gave me the whole description that we needed. Estimated salary. It says 60,000 to 100,000, depending on experience and expertise. Given the specialized nature, it may be closer to 80 to 110. When I was in Anaheim, I asked people, I was like, would that be about right for this position? And they were like, yeah. Job post, hiring marketing manager. So here's the job post that should attract that person. So I'm bad at hiring. So all I did was just told it what I needed. And then it spit out the information I was looking for, that now I can use that in a job post. I've got a job description. I've got everything I need to hire someone in one shot. So sometimes it doesn't happen like that. And you can also say, well, I don't really like this on the job task. Can you change it to this? And it will change it and refresh it for you. So you could go in and edit any of this. And I would, like Sean said earlier, I would edit it by talking to them. Don't edit it just by taking it off and then editing yourself. The more you talk to it, the more it starts to know you and knows your expectations and what you want.
Have you found, like, have you done any hiring using that since
You're doing it right now.
And yeah. Are you finding there's a difference in the quality of people applying for the positions?
No.
But getting it together.
Yeah, we are getting more applications. There's not very much difference in the quality of candidate. However, here's what I can do now. Now that I have a resume from someone, I can take the resume and upload it to ChatGPT and say, based on this job description that you gave me and what we're looking for, how does this resume score?
That's smart.
Yeah. So now it's analyzing based on the description it came up with, the resume. So now instead of looking through 200 resumes, I only look at the top 20 or top 10 that actually make it through.
Nice.
Where did you come up with that idea to use it for hiring? Like, it's insane what I'm hearing, what people are using ChatGPT for every day now.
So I made a list of everything I hate to do. And then I asked, can ChatGPT do it?
Wow. Is that the paid version, by the way, too? Or is that
the paid version? You have to,
for
the paid version, you have to have the paid version to upload stuff. And then you have to turn on, there's a little thing to turn on. I don't know if I have that on here. There's a thing to turn on that allows the upload. And once you have that on, then yeah.
Have you used it much since they integrated Bing right into ChatGPT 4?
I mean, I use it every day. I haven't really noticed a huge difference with the Bing integration.
No, I've been finding like it's getting me much more up-to-date information, and I've been comparing it against Bard. And I feel the information I'm getting from ChatGPT is way more accurate than the information I'm getting from Bard.
Yeah. I mean, I have noticed I have noticed an increase in accuracy of information, or not necessarily accuracy, current. It's more current than it was.
More up to date.
But I haven't really used it for a lot of like current stuff. Some on the marketing, top 10 video creation and stuff like that. But I use it more for, not only can you use this for hiring, but you can also use it for SOPs. So I've been revamping all of our SOPs for the team, and even SOPs that are just like steal my soul to create, like how to answer the phone. But you have to have it because somebody's going to be like, oh, I was just saying, hey, I shouldn't say, hey. No, you shouldn't say, hey. You should at least tell them who you are. That kind of stuff is included in my phone SOP now. So
I don't think Kelly knows what an SOP is. Can you tell Kelly what an SOP is? I can see her all confused.
Standard operating procedure, right? SOPs. Yeah. So for every part of the business now, how to have an open house, listing launch checklist. I use it. And even if it's just to create the outline of the SOP, I may go in and add a lot of the detail, but it's helping me to create a starting place. I don't have a blank page. That blank pages do me in. So I can just start with something, then I can edit it way faster than I can coming up with it on my own.
So is ChatGPT the main one you're using? Like, are you using other AIs right now, like image enhancers, video? Because you do a lot of video, right? Are you using any like Opus kind of thing?
I've tried. So for my video style so far, those auto editors haven't worked. I haven't had much success with it. Like I think it gave me like 20 clips and I could use one. And someone else was like, 1 out of 20 is not bad for free. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but I had to look through 20 videos. So the Opus and
then you
what's
probably
the
still had
Munch?
to edit that
Get Munch.
one a little bit, to make it yours.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would have wanted to, but I have a guy. I got a guy for that does it for like $20. So that's hard for me to beat.
Yeah.
I see Rich has his hand up. Rich, do you want to unmute?
Yeah, what's up, Ray? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Pretty good. How Dan might be able to help answer this question as well, but how good is ChatGPT 4 at disseminating information? So like I have this idea, if you can put in like an inspection and say, can you give me the bullet points of what I need to talk to my client or what to send my client about this inspection, and then possibly like teach it what the cost of fixing those things are as well, like through time, or even putting in disclosures and like, give me the bullet points of these disclosures for my client. How good is ChatGPT for it possibly being able to do that?
I've uploaded a couple of things like that and it's okay. It's not the best. What it is really good at is if you tell it the situation that you're in and the negotiation that you have to go through. Okay, here's the situation with the buyer and seller. Here are the items that we would need to negotiate. What's the best approach? It's really good at telling you that approach. So as far as negotiation goes, I just thumbed up myself. As far as negotiation goes, it's good at that. I would not yet trust it to read through an inspection repair survey or an inspection for you and then trust what it says as the major items on the inspection. I would, and this is just a liability thing. For me personally, I trust my clients to do that. I want them to look at the inspection and tell me what they think is important, because if I suggest things are important and say by default, making other things not a big deal, and then one of those big deal things makes the home slide down the hill, that's my fault. So it's going to come back on me. So just as a liability thing, like some people are using it for contract review. Oh, put a contract in there and then let it tell you the deal. No, don't do that. Send the contract to your client, ask them to review it, and then call and talk about it. I think the people that are uploading a bunch of stuff and relying on that as the primary source are going to be severely disappointed down the road. I think it's going to come back to bite them.
Rich, to answer
what if you're reviewing it yourself, but you're also using ChatGPT just to make sure there's nothing that you missed? So it's just working hand in hand together.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, Rich, I wouldn't be putting full things in, because I also don't trust that every inspector is going to outline it exactly the way it should be, because every inspector is going to be a little different. But what I can say is I've used it for different things like addendum writing. If you take an old addendum, though, take an old addendum that you like that's written, like I'll have a massive repair addendum. Here in Florida, you can write these like nice negotiation style addendums and you can use that, but then also say, here's the things that I'm worried about or whatever it is. So I use it more as a style and as a like building block than it is just like an answer, because like Ray said, you never know the liability you're going to have because a machine just skipped out on what should or shouldn't be important. But then again, you can take PDFs, like you're able to take the long PDFs and all these other plugins and get detailed responses, but that's also, you're giving it a very detailed input to get that out. Now, if you put an inspection report, you never know how detailed those inspectors are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, so here, because we do a lot of pre-inspections, but it's more if I can teach it, like it's because I know GPT is teachable. Like if you can kind of teach it what kind of responses you want from what you're putting in, or even like non-inspection, like standard disclosures, like fair housing disclosures, like, hey, put that in. Can you give me the best bullet points to share with our clients? So when you're sending them disclosures, it's basically, hey, we can go over all this stuff, but here are kind of the bullet points of this all.
One of the things I did for training and also for a quick explanation is I uploaded our contracts into it and then asked it for a summation of each section of the contract. Now I've been doing this 17 years. So if you do this and you're brand new, you need to have somebody that's like nerded out on the contracts before read over it. And because I found mistakes, I found things that I'm like, well, that's not exactly right, but yes. And so I would I put the contract in there. It gave me bullet point sections. I copied and pasted that into another document. And then the ones that it was off on, I reloaded and said, give me a summary of this. And I basically copied just that section, put it in there, asked it to expand and make it shorter. And then I put it back on my document and I edit it with my 17 years, right? So here's how this works practically. Yes, that's what it says, but practically in our transaction, here's how that works. And so I added additional information. Now I didn't just stop there. I took my summary of the contract, fed it back into ChatGPT and said, hey, I corrected all your answers. This is the correct summary. So now if I wanted to, I have something that has a great contractual knowledge, my 17 years worth of knowledge, and I could upload a contract that we get and say, analyze this based on what I told you. And it could tell me the key parts of the deal now, but that's because I've loaded and trained the information. Would I rely on that solely? No way. But more like Sean said, could it point out something that's a deal that maybe I missed? It could. It definitely could. So and you have to also be aware that sometimes it'll make stuff up.
Yeah.
So unless you tell it specifically, don't make anything up. No fantasies here. This is like real. I need you to be real. Then it may just make stuff up. There was some attorneys that got in trouble for submitting case law that ChatGPT had created out of thin air. And because they were using it to search case law, because it did pass the bar. And so they used several cases. They submitted it. Judge said, we can't find these cases. Or actually, I think it was the defense or something. So we can't find these cases. The judge said, yeah, I can't find them either. And instead of admitting right then, oh yeah, we used ChatGPT to analyze it, it may have been wrong, they doubled down and said, oh no, we know it's there. And then come to find out it was ChatGPT. The whole firm got in trouble. So you have to be aware that sometimes it'll hallucinate. It'll just pull something out of thin air. It's not perfect. It is a program and it could have a little glitch. In the meal prep, I found a glitch. It said chicken on one and fish on the other. Like, it's not a big deal. But if you're using it for a contract evaluation, it said buyer's going to pay this on one, and it said the seller's going to pay it on the other. Well, now it's a big deal. It could be, thousands and thousands of dollars of a difference. So that's what you have to watch out for.
One thing I've noticed is
Oh, sorry.
that's okay. ChatGPT doesn't remember anything that I've told it in the past. So are you using a plugin to help it remember what you're telling it?
So I use it for a bunch of different tasks. So there's one thing you can do in ChatGPT. Let me see if I can bring it up. So I should also confess. Well, let me use a different browser maybe. My ChatGPT is a mess because I got so many plugins on there that it's just like it's a lot. Let me see if I can open it in another document. Okay, this one's more pure. I'm going to share my ChatGPT. If you click on your name down here at the bottom, you could click on custom instructions. And then you could put all about you. And then you could put how you like ChatGPT to respond. So you could put your business, you could put who you are, everything you do here. Now, I don't have mine filled out because I constantly tell mine to respond as something different. So I'm using it in a bunch of weird ways. But if your standard primary job is a real estate agent, then I would put everything about your team, everything about your real estate, everything about your industry, where you are, where you want to go, and then how you want ChatGPT to respond. But I even use it for my kids. We did a Mad Libs. You can make Mad Libs with it now too.
That's really
I'm just testing it any way possible. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you do if you have ChatGPT 4, you go to settings and beta features, and turn these on. And the advanced data analysis is what will give you the ability to upload things. So once you're on ChatGPT 4, you hit this button and you can attach images now too. I haven't used that much yet. But you could attach images, documents, all kinds of stuff. Another way, do y'all have any questions about that stuff, the HR? I think uploading the resumes is a good start. Another thing you could do is if it does know about you and your company and you have a great resume from somebody that seems very talented, you could upload that to ChatGPT and say, I don't know that I have a space for this person yet on my team, based on their resume, what do you think they'd be best at? And you could get some ideas about how to use this really talented individual to then make your team money. So you may invent a position just because this person's super talented and you want to use them, and you can use ChatGPT to go back and forth and talk about the position you could give them. So that's another HR fun thing. Any questions about that?
What I just have about plugins. I don't know if you're going to go into that. What specific? I'm just kind of learning about plugins. I just downloaded the YouTube plugin and it's saved me so much time. I just literally get it to scan these 1 hour videos for me to tell me the highlights, and then I turn them into a blog and pretend it's my own words.
Yep.
What other plugins am I missing out on?
The biggest plugin I have is one that kind of takes over your whole system, which is okay because there's so many good things that I use on it, but it's called AIPRM. AIPRM. It's an extension that you download on Chrome, and I'll show you what it looks like once that's there. It's a lot. Just but it changes your home screen on ChatGPT and gives you a whole bunch of stuff.
I think there's like over 4,000 prompts in it. It's amazing.
Yeah, 4,442 prompts.
There you go.
And so you could search the prompts. I use it for the Midjourney prompt generator. I've used it for that. Write Like a Human. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. YouTube script creator. There's all kinds of prompts on there. Some are better than others, but that's the one that and you can also create your own prompts on there as well. So that's the biggest plugin I have. The other stuff is just, I mean, it's all stuff I'm kind of playing with because it's also new. From DALL-E to, I don't know. I couldn't tell you like one plugin is my go-to. Web GPT. That's been a good one because it allows me to browse. It's an extension that allows me to browse the web. And at the bottom of every website I go to has a little ChatGPT symbol, and I can click it and start to interact with that website within ChatGPT. That's been
Do you think ChatGPT will just do plugins for every possible kind of AI, like image generation, like as things keep going? I'm just curious about that because I don't know why they can't just do whatever it else is doing. That way you keep dropping my phone. That way you don't have to keep going and buying new subscriptions to a million of these AIs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's their goal, is to be the one-stop shop for everything. They have a Canva plugin that's kind of stinks. It can suggest some stuff to use, but it doesn't create anything for you. I think the ultimate goal would be for me to say, hey, here are my slides. Go create a slide deck. And, here are the slides. Here's my face. Create a fun slide deck for me in this thing. Done.
So for the Canva plugin, you mean the image generator it uses? That's a ChatGPT plugin? Because I've been using that lately. I find it one of the better ones, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't know.
The Canva plugin in ChatGPT?
No, I've been using just the You said ChatGPT has a Canva
you've been using
plugin,
the AI plugin on Canva. The Canva plugin on ChatGPT is not very good.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It gets confusing, They're all plugging in. And
who's plugging in where
I'm
to
just
what?
trying to unplug over here. Sorry?
John, there's something to remember, and everybody else on this call too, is like a lot of these plugins are they're not all created by ChatGPT. They're all created by a third-party system. So a lot of them are either put out for very specific reasons for their own clients through things, or for some sort of model to bring people to their source. So not everything's going to be like perfect in terms of plugins, but there's some like really specific ones that work well.
Yeah, the reason I was asking that is because there's so many AIs now, people are getting so overwhelmed, and I was just thinking like ChatGPT will probably be able to do them all sooner or later with people making plugins for ChatGPT. They'll be like the iPhone or whatever, where everyone makes apps for them.
Guys,
I'm really trying to stick with. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was browsing plugins last week and I downloaded 2, Meme Generator and Meme Creator. Absolutely awful. You got to use your own brain for those.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm trying to stick mainly with ChatGPT because I think it's the most fully baked of all the AIs. I'm looking right now for a video editing ChatGPT or video editing AI that I could just say, here's the video, here's the music, go. And I really have not been satisfied with anything I've found yet, but that's what I want because I want to create short form videos of some of the property tours we have. I think that'd be a fun way to do it. The ways in content creation that I'm using AI is basically to get rid of the blank page. And I like the idea of using AI not for one post, but for a content creation plan. And so I have this, again, whenever I'm using prompts or showing people how to use prompts, I like to just say, start with honesty and where you are. So I have this prompt that says, I'm not sure where to begin. I'm a real estate agent and I need to use Instagram best practices to create a series of content posts for the week. I want 5 posts, 3 will be photos, 1 will be a carousel with a series of posted information, another will be a video. And I tell a little bit about who I am. Can you make suggestions on what I should post? And then it says, post 1, photo shoot or photo post on Monday with the theme of Motivation Monday. A copy of a sold sign, beautiful home that you helped close, kickstarting the week with a success story. Now you could take that and say, well, that's an interesting idea. Motivation with the thought of using the story of, a client testimonial or, somebody that just closed on a deal. A just sold post is kind of a terrible idea, which a lot of it's in content. No, but again, ChatGPT is a little bit behind on some of those best practices that will catch up. The other one was like a Wednesday wisdom, showcasing a staging tip, for example. Little staging goes a long way. Remember, a home's not a home, but it's a lifestyle. And then it tells you what hashtags it thinks will be best. On the Friday theme, it said high quality photos showing a home's unique features, such as a renovated kitchen or garden, with the caption, every home has a unique charm. This one dazzles with state-of-the-art kitchen, a chef's dream come true. So a feature Friday is what it said to post it as. So it's great. Like, that's a great idea. So we have 3 photo posts already. You can actually use AI generation to come up with a awesome chef's kitchen. So you don't even have to use the actual photo. On the carousel post, it said to use market insights. So it already knows data is great on carousels. So to use the market insights. And then on the video, a sneak peek on Sunday. And this was interesting too, because it said a 1-minute walkthrough of a potential home on Sunday. And I asked it, because in my mind, Sunday's kind of a terrible day to release something. You release a video on Sunday and it's like, brr. But what ChatGPT said is a lot of people are searching for homes on Sunday and looking at open houses. So they're open to view videos about a home or going through a home on Sunday. I never would have thought of that. I never did think of that. So those are some of the ways I'm using it in content creation, is just suggest a quick plan for the week. I'm a little overwhelmed. Boom, there's the plan. And the more you use that, Kristen, earlier you said that it kept forgetting every time. If you use the same chat for them, if you have one that's just for content creation on Instagram, maybe you can upload some previous versions of what you like, some of your best Instagram posts. And then you say, in that same voice or theme, I want you to write a post about, Wisdom Wednesday, making a home improvement, and it will do that for you in your voice. So you're not using its voice, you're using your voice. So I love using it for that. I also asked it for additional tips, and it gave me additional tips like interact and engage, use stories and reels, quality imagery, local hashtags. So all great tips for Instagram.
So if you find ChatGPT overwhelming, just download it and play around with it. There's so many, it's so easy to use for little things, right? You don't have to use it for everything. I know everyone is so overwhelmed by this, but the more you use it, it's just gonna make your life easier.
Yep. I've been using it for captions. I tell it what I want and the voice I want, and then it'll write the caption. I might edit it a little bit, but it's been pretty spot on with most of those.
Even for my blogs, I'll be write an SEO description for this, write me SEO hashtags. It's just doing every one of these things where I just I don't have time to do. I never would have even done a blog if it wasn't for ChatGPT. It's just another thing you can use it for now to get more people to your website, as Dan talked about last week. Is Dan still in here? Yeah, he is.
Is anybody
And so,
using it to
he
make
said,
thumbnails?
A little bit.
every little thing that's hard for you to do, you can figure it away
Yes.
on ChatGPT to help you.
I'm using it. So I'm using that Midjourney thing to make thumbnails with it.
Yeah.
I've got some examples. I'll show you.
That's one area I struggle. I can never come up with an idea for a thumbnail. So it's just me and Canva
But
on the site.
as basic as that is, but you can take that and now add the words. You still have a basic premise that saved you time. You can color correct yourself to blend in more. But I'm saying you have the basic premise that you would start with anyway. So it's
No,
not
I
doing the
just
entire job for you, but it's saving you half the time.
I just use this as was. You can do everything Sean said. I just use this though.
Oh, I know you can, but say you
So
want to change something. Like
if you
people are
want,
worried
yeah.
it's not gonna be perfect. Yeah. Like
So,
you can
so what
always
I was
edit it
asking
still.
for, this was a show we did. I think Matt Patello was on, and we were talking about San Francisco real estate and how it was
Love
on
that guy.
fire. And so we burned. I asked for an image of San Francisco on fire, and then I just put myself in front of it on Canva. That's it. Here's another one. We were talking about the frozen housing market. This one we were talking about sky high home prices.
This is Midjourney.
Yeah,
Oh, this one's way better than anything I've used. Like
Amazing.
I
this
was trying to get
one
a horse to
created
ride a
this
beaver
chart
the
for
other
me.
day, and I couldn't get it done.
Created this chart for
That was
me.
fun. Yeah.
I did have to flip the chart because I asked for a chart going down. And so it gave me a red chart going up. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I just flipped it. It worked. This one we were talking about, is it finally time to buy or sell? Now, this one was
Can you
interesting.
do a
So
prompt right now
yeah,
on Midjourney in front of us?
yeah.
I don't want
So
to.
this
If you have time.
this one was I asked for a Victorian broken down home. And then everything that was actually, I asked for the Sunday version first. I said a beautifully lit Victorian home with roses and all this stuff in the yard. And then I changed all those words and put, dark skies, badly lit, dead roses, and then just hit enter. So I changed from the positive words to the negative words, and I just put both those images in the thumbnail. And then this one I used Snapchat on me, and then I asked it to generate an old house. And this one was about people blaming boomers for the housing market.
I love
So yeah,
it.
let me do
This is amazing.
That is hands down my grandma's house. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm freaked out. I think ChatGPT's got a camera in my grandma's.
All right, let me open ChatGPT and we'll do one of those. Do you have something in mind?
You dancing in a ball. I don't know.
So I
Something.
can't so Midjourney is not good at adding people. But we said a
Okay.
ballroom. You can do a ballroom.
Just anything. Yeah. Like, do a
What-
ballroom with a horse in it. I
A
just want to show
ballroom?
people.
Okay. So I'm
You
using
do
the
something probably more.
I'm
real
using
related if you
this
want.
prompt generator. Okay. So this prompt generator is in that AI PRM or whatever it is, that plugin. And
Yeah.
so let's let's do all right, I want to do a
Find that
realistic.
plugin, Ray Ellen.
You
The
can?
reason I want you to do this is because people don't realize how important thumbnails are, especially for YouTube. Or they do realize it, I don't know. But like this can help you with your thumbnails, right? Like if you don't have the money to be paying everyone or don't want to use Canva, thumbnails can be huge for you getting more views on YouTube.
So you notice what I'm putting in there, a realistic photo of a horse dancing in a formal ballroom, realistic, photorealistic, real image, shot on an actual camera in 16:9 format. All right. I'm ready to say go. It's going to give me a couple of different prompts. Prompt 1, a horse performing a graceful dance in a grand ballroom. The horse has a shining mane, wears delicate shoes. This is going to be so good. It's going to be funny. All right, so now I'm just going to copy this whole thing right here. And we're going to go to Discord.
So just
Discord
so
is
everyone's following along, you got the prompt written in ChatGPT to transfer over to what the hell is it called?
Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me go. Wait, I gotta share that. So, all right, so there's the prompt we're gonna copy. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna share my screen with the other one real quick. Now I just use a little private chat with me and Midjourney.
I spent 3 hours at the airport last week doing this.
All I do is
coming up with random
paste
stuff.
this. It's gonna say, do you want to use that? Yep. And I'm gonna hit enter. All right, now here it goes. So it's waiting to start. I also pay for Midjourney. It's like $20 a month or something. but I pay so that I get priority. I am anxious to see what
Yeah,
this
that's-
looks like.
I have 1 million of them now, and they all want me to pay. I'm running out of money here.
Yeah. Oh, it's like okay. So it's an actual horse in the ballroom. So one of the things that's interesting, if you put reel or photo reel or something like that, it's going to use like a real situation as well. So if I wanted a horse on 2 legs, then I would ask it differently. But look at that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
simplicity, right? That just reminds you how beautiful life is.
A horse dancing in a ballroom for Sean.
Like,
Now,
wow.
didn't you say that you wanted a beaver riding a horse?
Yeah, but I did that in I used a different one. It was called Chatbox, and it was terrible. So like this is way better than the ones I was using for image generation.
Okay.
But I found Canva was pretty good too, but it's nowhere near as good as this.
All right. Well, let's see if we can. This is good.
But I
Let's
think
take it.
eventually they're all going to be, there's going to like ChatGPT. One of them will take over all of it and be able to do all of this with the plugins and stuff.
So I basically did the same thing. I just went into Midjourney. I said, this was as simple as I gave it, a realistic image of a beaver riding on the back of a horse. That's all I said. And then this is what it gave me as the prompt.
It was actually a horse on a beaver, but I'll let you slide this time.
Let's see if it even works. This is going to be weird. Wait.
You're in the weird mastermind today, all right?
This is interesting. It's like a beavery horse. It's not even.
This is what mine kept doing. It kept
It's a
combining
dream.
beavers and horses. I was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
disappointed.
Is this like the slow evolution of a beaver horse?
But see, this is where you could go back and like give it additional details, right? I mean, this is
the
Oh,
future
wow.
of humanity. Really.
What in the?
so things you can't even imagine, it can. So there you go. Taylor probably has a more constructive question.
Well, I was
know,
trying.
I feel kind of dumb for asking. Was that Discord a plugin that you used for ChatGPT, or I'm not familiar with Discord at all, so I don't know how that works.
So Discord is like think of it like a chat app for different communities. So you
Okay.
guys could have a Discord and y'all could get on there, and it's like Slack. Think of it like Slack. Midjourney it operates on a Discord.
Okay.
So whenever you sign up for Midjourney, it'll ask you to load it up in Discord, and that's where you go to basically chat with that AI. And you're giving it commands. So you give it a command of give me this image prompt or give me this image, and then enter, and then it'll spit you back those options.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's kind of like Slack. I guess the closest thing that it is Slack.
Okay.
There's a bunch of real, if you want to check it out, just on the side note, on Discord, a bunch of like real estate communities you can join to learn about it, like on Discord itself. Message me after.
Yeah.
Also, YouTube, like whenever I first started getting into Discord, I was like, what is this? So I went to a bunch of YouTube channels that talked about Discord and how to use it. And it's just, they give you a great little step-by-step. Can I talk to you about one way that I've never heard anyone else say to use ChatGPT and AI that I think is like legendary and no one is using it?
Absolutely.
You're gonna think I'm nuts. Role playing. So you could give it a prompt. I wish I could just like show you the actual Zoom thing, or the actual keynote. All right, so this is the prompt I gave it. You are a person who wants to sell their home for sale by owner. I'm a real estate agent, and I would like to set an appointment with you to preview your home, but you're somewhat reluctant. Role play this scenario with me, and we'll go back and forth. Once an appointment seems logical and helpful to you, accept the appointment. Do not easily let me set the appointment. I will wait on me to start. If you understand, say, let's go. So then it said, let's go. And then I said, oh, what was your name? Because I forgot to, in role play, you got to know the name of the person. And it said, my name is Alex. Nice to meet you. How can I help you today? So it's already like going. I'm like, well, crap. Hi, Alex. My name is Ray. I'm a realtor. I noticed that you're selling your home by yourself. And then I went through this role play, right? What I found interesting about this role play is it didn't give me just random answers. It gave me the most common answers. So it gave me common answers, and it gave me answers in a style that someone else would say. So I asked, can you tell me a little bit about your home that may not be listed online? It told me that. I asked, how long have y'all lived there? Does anyone know the median homestay right now? Any guesses? The median stay in a home right now is 13 years. So I asked it, how long have you lived there? ChatGPT answers 12 years. So it's answering in a way that it knows the market would also answer. I keep asking it questions. I get the appointment. So yay. It wasn't easy. And what I thought was interesting is that it actually cut myself off, or it cut me off. So I was headed to a segment of the conversation in which I would talk about the value of a real estate agent. And it said, before I could get to that, I asked a leading question that would have them answer something. So I could say, well, here's the value of an agent. And in its answer, it said, I understand the value of an agent. So it cut off where I was headed. So it knew, based on scripting and years of reading stuff, it knew where I was headed. So I really love this tactic. I did get the appointment, which was really cool. So here's the little prompt. I'll copy and paste this for you guys to use in the chat. Has anyone ever used this for role play? There's the prompt, and I'll give you the exact one I used.
Is that just basic ChatGPT? You can go in there and just start role playing with it? Just the basic chat? That's awesome. That's a great idea, because just coming up with objection handling and stuff like that, practicing that.
Well, in a lot of conversations we have these days are text-based. So you're literally having a text-based conversation with someone, and you could get different scenarios. You could do a probate scenario. You could do a divorce scenario. You could do all kinds of scenarios. So copy and paste those two that I put in the chat. I'd love to hear you guys' success. I gave it to a friend of mine that had been in the real estate for business for about 30 years. And after about 20 minutes, he texted me. He was like, finally, I got the daggum appointment. It took him 20 minutes of going back and forth with ChatGPT. So if you put in the prompt and it automatically starts having this conversation without you, just hit the stop generate and then go up to the top and say, no, wait on me before you do anything.
I'm going to have an argument with it with my girlfriend later to practice.
Yeah, it could be great, especially if you upload previous arguments that you've had, then it could really behave as your girlfriend.
That's scary.
Blair, Mike Ferry is fucked.
Yeah. So now here's the, I think the winner. It's all really good. Like what ChatGPT says and how it role plays with you and everything. It's really, really cool. Have any of you ever done role play with someone? No. It's awkward. You have a time that, hey, every morning at 8 a.m., we're going to have a 10-minute role play, and both of you forget to call so many times because
when I was on a team, we did it, but I actually found it extremely helpful. It was years ago, and I still use a lot of the lines from that in my objection handling today that I was practicing with 5 years ago.
The hardest part about having another person do it is the consistency and also their ability or inability to evaluate your performance. So a follow-up question that you could give ChatGPT, it's to say, okay, ChatGPT, break from the role play. How did I do? Analyze my answers and look for opportunities to improve them. This, I think, is huge. It told me you did quite well, Ray. Thank you very much. Your approach was professional, empathetic, and value-driven, which are all key components. And then it said, here are the areas of strengths and improvement: strengths, empathy and understanding, value proposition, forward thinking, and flexibility. That was very cool. Now it told me my areas of opportunity, specific benefits. While you mentioned, now I've been doing this 17 years. It's asking me to do specific benefits. However, I know that as I'm role playing, in order for me to get that appointment, I needed to stay away from specifics because I wanted to address the specifics at the appointment. So it's actually pointing out some stuff that I'm doing that actually know, okay, I know I did that, but I know I did it that way for a reason. Now this one I didn't. It said addressing concerns. When Alex expressed reservations about letting an agent in, you could potentially ask for more specific concerns and address them individually. This would ensure Alex's worries were directly tackled. When he said that, ChatGPT, when ChatGPT said that, I had to go back up and say, well, what did I miss? And sure enough, there were areas of opportunity in how I would address those specific concerns that I could have answered differently that would have been more helpful. And so even somebody that's been doing this a long time, to see that and go, oh, did I miss that? I thought I did, and I totally missed it. So to evaluate your role play. And there's no risk here. Like nobody's sitting on the other side of the computer, like making fun of you because you couldn't get the appointment. It's all learning experience. And you could break from the role play and say, hey, how come I didn't get the appointment? And it can tell you. And so I think role play is a huge sleeper in AI. And I think it's going to be a huge win for those of us that use it in this way.
That's one of the biggest like friggin' tips I've gotten about ChatGPT. I didn't even think to use about so far. I just got a text from someone saying this is their favorite mastermind, by the way. So
Oh.
you're doing a great job.
Whoever that was needs to retract that, because I've done 2 that y'all have told them they're the best. What the fuck, Ray?
This was Taylor. Taylor wasn't at yours, Dan, so don't worry.
There you go.
All right, you had to blast him. Ray, this is awesome stuff. I want to know if you have all this stuff is really, really great for everybody to use. Have you gone a little bit deeper and used anything with up-to-date facts or trends or anything going on in the market to read over, taking like any real estate, market facts or like that?
So I've played with it some. One of the things I did was I downloaded my entire MLS data over the last 5 years into a spreadsheet. And then I uploaded that data and asked it to analyze it. It was really interesting. One of the things I found immediately was that I had to eliminate outliers, because if I said, what's the zip code with the largest difference in list price to sell price ratio? Then it said this zip code. I'm like, what is that zip code? And I went and looked it up. There was one sale, one transaction. Something was listed for $1, sold way high. So I had to be like, okay, well, so you have to be real specific with it when you're asking it to analyze data. So you have to put some guide rails in there. Like, what is the neighborhood with the highest list price to sell price ratio with a minimum of 20 transactions over the last 5 years, or a minimum of 100 transactions? So you have to put some guardrails so that you're getting accurate data because of the outliers. So if you could eliminate the outliers whenever you ask it a question, it's really good at analyzing the data. I am not relying on it to come up with that data without me giving it the data though. So I'm not saying, tell me what's the hottest zip code in Little Rock? And then just relying on it to tell me that, because it's going to be pulling from whatever data sources are available online and not necessarily the most recent sales.
Are you using to come up with email blasts and stuff like that?
Yes, some.
The basic one, but that's just something people don't
I'm really
think about,
using
like, to write your
Sharon.
email.
I'm really using Sharon and Jimmy more than anything lately for the email blast, but I'm also using it to kind of reformulate and analyze Sharon and Jimmy's email blast to tell me others that I could send that are similar. That way I could send one this week and one next week and just kind of keep changing it up slightly.
But you are using AI is what I mean in general then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Anyone have any questions? Did you want to cover anything else, Ray? We're at like our hour mark. We usually try and keep them around an hour. But if there's anything else you want to cover, this is great. I'm sure we'd love it to keep going. Anyone else have any questions? Kelly, come on. I know you got something. You're nervous.
I love this, and I think that most people should. This is a great intro. I love how baseline Ray brings everything, because I think that so many people love to go like crazy deep on things, and I love how surface level your prompts are, because that's exactly how it should be. It just should be conversational. And I love the way you're using ChatGPT, only because I think it's actually trained your own brain to now use it going forward as literally an assistant for everything, which has probably helped you immensely. And I think that the more we all think of it like that, the more it will help us on an everyday basis. Think less than thinking like, oh, I don't know how to use it. It's like, just talk to it like a human. So I hope everybody took a lot out of this, man. This was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't afford, like if a virtual assistant is on the budget, this covers so many of the things you get your virtual assistant to do besides calling people, which I'm sure will come soon enough. But yeah, like this, and use the free version. You don't have to do the paid version. Like I suggest the paid version, but start with the free version.
My assistant uses ChatGPT. So
Hey,
she gets into my account and uses it. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I jump in? Hey, okay, so this was great. And I'm still learning all of this. It's a lot of information. Talking about Midjourney again. So I'm logged into the Discord, can you show me where you're typing in the prompt on the Discord? Like there's a whole bunch of different little chats in there. Like where, and is it public? It looks like when you're typing in it, is there a private way to do it, or is it just going out to everybody?
There is a private way. So you can send a direct message. So at the top of your Discord page, there's a little Discord symbol that says direct messages. And you can click on that and then send a direct message to Midjourney that way.
Okay.
You may have to, let me see, you may have to start in Midjourney and send a message from there, but that's how you do it. You can put the plus button and start typing Midjourney and find it.
Okay.
So that is how you send the direct. So all of my prompts, like for thumbnails and stuff like that, I'll put in there. But it is not a bad idea, like the communities of newbies and things like that, to see what people are typing and writing, because you could come up with a lot of ideas. You could see how someone phrases something to get something a specific way. You know, they may be uploading images and altering those images. So, I mean, it's cool to see what the community is doing too, because you'll learn a lot from them. Okay. One of the things that I learned a lot was to get really good images. Sometimes you want to give it less words. You want it to be creative. You just want to give it some guardrails and then let it go.
Okay, thank you. I see it on that says chat. So it's like prompt chat. Is that where you're going in if you're doing on the public side?
It'll say like, let me find one.
Okay, sorry. I'm just like,
okay.
There's so many choices.
All right. Disclaimer, I have no idea what you're going to see.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, I just clicked down here. It says newcomer rooms, newbie 107. And so this is newbie 107.
Okay.
And you can see people generating stuff.
Okay.
Oh, this one's really good. So a woman on the beach shot in portrait style wearing a sun hat. Bam.
Okay.
I mean, that looks real. That's so wild. Then there's, you could do different paintings and stuff like that. And you can ask it to copy certain styles, like copy a Monet and paint this pair of shoes or whatever.
Great.
Yeah. But that's, people are trying to develop a logo on there. I always think it's funny when somebody's trying to develop a logo.
Type in the chat where we can follow you and your YouTube and where we can see all your stuff. I want to get you some followers and business out of this. Yeah,
Ray Zorbach on Instagram is the best place to follow me. It's RayZorback. So from there, there's a jumping off point to everything we do. I have a specific to agents. We do a couple of masterminds, the Tim and Ray's mastermind on Tuesday. We do a book club on Thursday. Right now we're in the book Superfans. But on Wednesday, I have a podcast that's live that people can join and actually interact with the podcast and be on it. So it's This Week in Real Estate. I'll post it in the YouTube. Sorry. Here's the Apple podcast.
I don't know if anybody reads the emails I send out on Sundays, but if you go back to the one I sent last night, it's links to his podcast and to his Instagram page.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think everybody deletes those actually, Kristen.
I know, and they're so good. They're funny.
They are very good.
I read them, Kristen.
Thank you.
We'll post it to the
You're
Facebook
welcome.
group too. Like, any links? Thank you, Noel. Sorry. We'll post it to the Facebook group if you guys are not in there. Like a lot of links, and we also have a before appointments Instagram page now. We're gonna start posting a lot of the slides and stuff and links all there, just so you can streamline it easier. We're still learning.
Yeah, we just got the T-Wire Pod Instagram page going, and about the 45th video I posted on there went viral, and it's been nuts. It's got like 2.7 million views or something stupid, and all of the comments are trolls, which has been fun.
Love it.
I mean, I troll them back. It's really fun.
Oh, same here. I live for trolls.
It's so fun.
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up then. Ray, that was amazing. Like one of my favorites. I actually learned a ton. I say that every week, but I mean it. I love the AI episodes. So thanks again.
Yeah,
yes, thank you, Ray. That was amazing. And don't tell Katie we kept you late.
Oh well, she'll hardly know that.
Send us your address. We're gonna send you a fruit basket.
Okay, great. I appreciate that.
No problem. We're gonna get AI to do it. All right.
Okay, good.
Love you, Ray.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, everybody.